Ooh, yeah. Getting into what I believe is dog rose. All the bees are at it. The sun's not out, but the bees are flaming at it. It's got a handful of dried out ones from the previous year. But this is a pretty good dog rose. Size-wise, it's not, it's an alright one. It's not small, it's sort of medium. There's one eye. May show you guys one day. It's absolutely massive. I mean, it's like, 8 foot tall or something. This year I may, I'm saying I will, but I may try and make the Swedish soup that uses rose hips, like the not so old crappy version of them, to try and make the Swedish soup. We'll see. Alrighty, well this is the arsehole plant of the century. Very few seeds on this. Must have been a shit year for it. Not many seeds at all. Very fine, but it's serrated as you pull downwards. Pull up, it's fine. You pull downwards, you can feel the serrations. Serrated tussock. Comes from Chile or Argentina or wherever the hell. And basically South American plant. Theory has it that it was actually brought in for holding the soil together, as were a number of different plants which then turned into weed, as was skeleton weed, which I've seen in Western Australia. I'm not joking. One plant there, and one there. And that's all I can find in this whole Plough area. I've been right down there and everything. I'm going to go over the other side of my property and have a look, but usually in that area I'd find, about 10 garbage bags full. I've done bloody well getting rid of the damn sods. To have it that hard I can barely even find any. Look, there's my knee, and look how long that bone is. I'll line it up with my ankle. There we go. She's about 3.5 inches off my knee. You guys should be able to guess what animal that one come from. Well, you get rid of one and find you got another. This beautiful looking little flower is known as Patterson's Curse. And there is a friggin' lot of this in Western Australia. And people actually keep it as sheep feed because it's one of the few things that will grow in a drought. I had a little bit at the other end of my property, I mean right over in the flat area. And here we are. Found a little bit more. It looks like something was eating it too. But anyway, that'll be another one we're going to take out. It does look lovely. It's a pain in the butt that I don't really need to get established here. Come on, Tabby Cat, that was yours, wasn't it, buddy? Hey? See, I told you not to run away. I gave it a thump with a shovel to finish it off, but don't run away. And now your sister's going to get the thing. Hey? She's carrying it like it's her own kitten or something, like she's proud of it. Now you missed out, just because you ran away because I finished it off with a shovel. Ah, Black Kitty, it's not really yours, buddy. Poor old Tabby Cat ran off just because she thought I was coming to take it off her or something. She didn't like me running towards her with a shovel, and you just went in and grabbed it, as you have. This is the second one you've done this. Didn't see it very well as she's walking out there because I got the camera out a bit late. She carries it like a cat carries a kitten. Anyway, this is going to turn to blood very soon, so leave it at that. Oh, just out here getting rid of a few weeds. I couldn't find my damn mattock. I've had to go and use the shovel, and it doesn't really friggin' work very well at all. Anyway, I was just thinking, you might have seen the little rabbit that Black Kitty had there. That was actually initially grabbed by Tabby Cat, and me and Black Kitty were back at the house and we could hear the squeals. Black Kitty went running straight away. I followed shortly after and grabbed, well, the same shovel I'm using now. Come around near where those trees were that I've got away from the house there, near the toilet sort of thing. And there's a little bunny lying there, and Tabby Cat disappeared like the wind. I mean, just woof. As soon as she saw me coming, she was gone. And little rabbit was lying there squealing and kicking. I gave it one lousy thump with a shovel, a few more kicks, and then it was completely dead. And Black Kitty, instead of doing the usual tap, tap, tap with a paw, she just basically walked straight over and picked it up and walked off with it. And you can see walking back through the box thorns there with it. I realised something just before. There's absolutely no blood on the shovel at all. And there was no blood on it. And there was no blood on the rabbit either. With a few squeals, Tabby Cat took down that rabbit, and it was basically dying anyway, and would have died even if I hadn't hit it with a shovel, because it wasn't a terribly ferocious hit with a shovel, and there was no blood. The rabbit was there, laying on its side, the same way as I found the big bunny. And I thought, well, how come Big Bunny didn't squeal? Well, I had music playing reasonably loud, didn't I? I wouldn't have heard the squeal. There's all the chance in the world that it was actually Tabby Cat that got Big Bunny. Now, I know you wouldn't get much blood from a small rabbit, but there was nothing. Not on the neck. Nothing. Nothing at all. Until, of course, Black Kitty bit through the neck and started eating it. The same with Big Bunny. No blood, nothing at all. I think Tabby Cat knows some way to be able to kill a rabbit and leave no blood. And I don't know if it's the fact that her teeth are so thin, that it's only a small puncture hole, or just the way she does it, that, you know, she bites it and it breaks its back or something like that, you know, breaks its neck rather. It just sort of occurred to me just then that there was absolutely no blood involved in that small rabbit this morning, not a drop. And then I think about Big Bunny, and I'm pretty certain it was her. I was going through my bucket, picking out the bits that need to be picked out, and saw a little bit of metal laying on the ground. I could only see about that much, right in front of the bins here, which sort of get moved around, and then the rain hits them and runs off and sort of washes things out a little bit. And I haven't even finished pulling that out of the ground, but I know from this end exactly what it is. It's the other tyre spanner, wheel spanner, rather, for the green sedan Nissan that I've still got. The one in the wagon I pulled out, and I know exactly where that is. See, I think it's just sitting on top of the thing there with the wood in it. What do you know? She might be a little bit rusted beyond use, but scrap metal never flaming ends. Here's the old banger player at my paddock. It's sort of like a miniature version of the one I showed on the little forest drive. Yeah, stump jump player. That's what all this business, all the springs is about. It's actually like a double layer spring thing. It's sort of bizarre. I don't know, maybe they extended the springs into or something, or maybe it's built that way from scratch. It probably is. Apparently, my father reckons it's great, all these here, all the mechanisms, because when you're sitting there, you just about fly right off, and like it just about catapults you off, just because of these spring mechanisms jumping up when these hit a rock. Now, the one you saw only had these. They're your backing plates. And on occasion, apparently, when you travel down the road, sometimes you need to get the spanner out onto these and get all these off. Because if you don't, that will rip into the road. And it's just the way some of them are with the height adjustment of the wheels and whatnot. This one, obviously, you ratchet that up and adjust the height of your wheel because it's sort of levered off of there. With some of them, you just had to. You had to take all the plough bit off. Now, the one, obviously, you've seen had like 8 or 10. This has only got 4. But, yeah. Oh, and that might be something to do with oiling up the wheel bearings, or greasing them in the case of that one. Yeah, wheel bearings, plough bearings, you know what I mean. And, yeah, so that sort of explains that little stuff up. Just next to my front gate here, and bada bing, saw something under the rocks, and I moved a few rocks away, and what do you know? More rubbish. And there's always the ubiquitous piece of blue glass here and there, which is something you really don't see these days, but I have quite a bit of it here and there. A lot of it's smaller than this, a lot of it's just little chunks, but I swear somebody's just gone berserk, smashing glass all around my property, and apparently there was an alcoholic that lived here at one point. Just been walking down here, taking some photos of some edible weeds. Plantain, 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 plantain. There's so much plantain here, it is absolutely riddled. This tastes like crap, trust me. But how much of it there is, it just doesn't end. It goes on and on and on. Little shriveled up ones over here. And on and on and on and on and on and on. Bang, 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 bang. Dog rose. God blimey. Like if I continue on here, another one. Another one. And some wild oats. And some boxthorn berries. Even these dastardly things, when they're green, as you can see in there, one is. They're supposed to be edible. It's, God, you wouldn't bother, believe me. Some of the worst aftertaste you've ever had, outside of bad almonds, but we'll be fine, no matter what happens. I won't be running out of greens anytime soon, even if they're all, shall we say, dehydrated in the ground. I want to sort of apologise to one female viewer. She asked, can you show us all your local farm supply stores and stuff like that? And never really seen her before, a little bit suspicious. And I thought, oh, here we go, this is just some Troydian trying to find out, trying to work out where I live or something like that. So I was a bit snappy with her, so sorry about that. But anyway, the truth is that I really don't go to farming supply stores. Yeah, I had to go there when I bought fence for all this place. And, you know, other bits and pieces of fencing stuff like the one around the grapevines and whatnot. I got the sprayer from there, like your knapsack firefighting sprayer thingy. Sometimes I go there for cat food, but I'm tending to realise that I can get cheaper cat food at department stores, and sometimes the exact same good brands of cat food for quite a bit less price than I get at the farm supplies anyway. The truth is, I really don't often go to these places. And if I did, I really doubt it's within their company policy for me to show stuff. A lot of stores, well, not heaps, but there's a few stores here that have it written up, and a lot of them wouldn't want you showing video anyway. But some of them actually specifically state that. Hasn't stopped me, but, you know, the hardware store I go to often, yeah, I've showed wood heaters in there even though they had written up on the front, no cameras. And, you know, this is just the thing, like, a lot of people always ask me, oh, why didn't you interview this guy, or ask that guy, or show this, or, you know, oh, shit. You pull a phone out like you're going to take a photo, and people start fleeing, you know, it's not that simple. And, furthermore, on all this stuff, I noticed, I don't know how it is in America. I got a funny feeling Americans go to shops a lot, like sometimes every day. I know when Troy was over here, you know, he'd be at shops every day, and I was like, holy smoke, you know. And same thing with a handful of people here in the city. You know, I like that. Go to the shops every day, you know, and just like in country Australia, nobody goes to the shops every day. And, you know, some of them are lucky to even get there once a week. Hell, when we lived in Western Australia, we used to go to the shops and the banks and that, I think it was every 2 weeks. And that was only a 2-horse town full of Aboriginals. I think Aboriginals are actually majority population there. And every 2 months we used to go down to the capital and have a big buy-up of heaps of stuff. And often enough we'd buy up heaps of bread and freeze it all. Same with the milk, heaps of milk, freeze it all. You know, and it's just a pure fact the way it is in the country out here that people just do not go to shops every day because we grow out of that habit, you know, and might be different in suburban America. I know it's a little bit different down in the capital down here, but no, we're just not spend crazy. We just don't really care about going to shops that much unless we specifically need something, and, you know, we try and string it out because a lot of things in Australia are just so, everything's spread out so bloody much, you know. I mean, I'll tell you a little truth about Australia. We've got the second lowest population density in the world, and at a very close second, only just slightly behind Siberia. Gives you an idea of what it's like. And then people go, oh, you know, how come you live off creek? Oh, spread out too far. You know, oh, well, wouldn't it be more efficient to take things out to the outback by rail than by using those trucks? Oh, shit, dude. You know how many people are out there? There's a place that's the size of, like, shit, 5 American states. There's a total of 200,000 people, majority black people in the desert, in this whole region that's the size of 5 to 7 American states. You know, 200,000 tops, majority black people in the desert. You know, it's just, you have the odd truck go out in the outback, it doesn't justify a railway line that's a couple of thousand miles. It just doesn't justify it. And it's just the way it is in this country. Tell you another little thing. Everybody thinks that this country, the middle of it's empty, and why don't we use it? Because it's bloody, worthless desert. There's areas there where it's as flat for 100 miles. It's said as a joke that you can see a bull ant from 100 miles unless he's squatting down. You know, and some of these joints there is not a blade of grass for literally 100 miles. Literally. Not a blade. My parents have been into these areas. There are photos of this shit, and one day I'll show those photos. But anyway, there you go.